Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome everyone to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions channel. Today is Thursday, July 7th, 2022, and we're doing another of our Monday through Friday planetary pujas using the chart of now. If you scroll up in the chat, there's a link to the chart that we're going to be using. I'll also be displaying the chart on the screen. Yesterday, someone asked me to post some of the sounds that we say at the opening, and I've posted some of that in the chat as well, if you want to scroll up to see that. This is a puja that Dr. Pillai taught to myself and Raja, Meena Malloy's brother, several years ago. And it's something that's using the chart of the moment. And he asked us to draw that chart on a little chalkboard. And I have a little chalkboard on a side table here where I've drawn the chart in chalk. And what I'll be doing is using that little blackboard as the base for the puja. As we go along, I'll be offering water, flower petals, light, a bell, a fan, and I'll be offering that to the chart that's drawn on the blackboard, as this is representing the planets and the stars, etc., in the positions that they're in based off of where I am at the moment, which is Florida. When we do a puja or a ritual over Zoom or the YouTube, we're using the time elements based off of the person who's performing the puja. You're welcome to participate at home if you want to draw the chart on your own, maybe a little whiteboard or a piece of paper with a pen or pencil, something that you can lay flat and offer the flower petals to. Or if you just want to put a little bowl or saucer in front of the screen and just offer flower petals into the bowl or saucer. Or if you just want to offer the flower petals mentally as we go along, that's fine. Dr. Pillai has said the names of all of these planets and stars. These are quantum sounds. They're a mantra in and of themselves. So just even hearing these sounds helps all of us to go into a higher state of consciousness. Doing this together as a group helps to create a unity consciousness among us, and it helps to draw greater blessings from these divine beings to us, into our lives, and also into our planet, which of course can very much use divine blessings right now. Okay, so that's a little bit about what we're up to. Thank you for being here. My name is Swamini Valli. I'm a Pillai Center teacher and also an AstroVed astrologer. I'm hosting this puja, very happy to be doing this with Dr. Pillai's blessings. The planets and the stars are more than just physical things that we see in the sky. They also are all associated with higher beings. And these planets and stars, they all have a purpose, and they all have special gifts and blessings that they can send to us if we start to make ourselves more receptive to opening up to those blessings. So part of what the puja is doing is helping to honor them and helping to create more of an interconnection between us and these divine beings. These planets are all, and stars are all out there in the sky, but they're also their inner energies are also inside of all of us. We're all interconnected. And this puja helps us to begin to experience that in a more visceral way. So this is the chart that we're looking at for today. This is the chart. And what this chart is, it's a layout called the South Indian style layout of the chart. It's a sidereal chart. Each of these little boxes represents a zodiac sign. This is the ascendant AC, that stands for the sign that is on the eastern horizon at the moment in the location where I am. This is the sign of Leo. This is the moon here in Virgo. K2 is over here in Libra today. This is Pluto sitting in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius. Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune are all retrograde today. It means they're extra powerful. Saturn in Aquarius, Neptune retrograde, and Jupiter also in Pisces. Mars, Uranus, and Rahu are sitting in Aries. Venus is sitting in Taurus, and Mercury and the Sun are sitting in Gemini. In the show more area below the video, there's a link to a YouTube tutorial about the South Indian style layout of the chart if you're not familiar with it. It's a video you could watch later and become more familiar with this layout. Dr. Pillai is from Tamil Nadu in the south of India. So this is the style of chart that I have learned and am familiar with. So this is what we're up to today. We start with first invoking Ganesha. We invoke the archetype who removes obstacles 3 times. Om Sring Gang. Om Sring Gang. Om Sring Gang. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja. Next, we do a short Tamil chant that was given to us from Yana Samundar. I did post it earlier in the chat up above as someone asked for that yesterday. This is a chant from St. Yana Samundar, who was an enlightened Siddha master who lived several centuries ago in Tamil Nadu. And he dissolved his body into light at the end of his incarnation. So he was a light body saint. He gave these sounds, they're a little bit from a larger hymn that he did, asking all of the planets to become beneficial towards us. Dr. Pillai said we would do this chant 3 times at the beginning of the puja. Asura Nalla Nalla, Aveya Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Arvar Kumikave, Asura Nalla Nalla, Aveya Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave, Asura Nalla Nalla, Aveya Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. We ask all of the planets and the stars and divine beings to be beneficial towards us today. And we give thanks to St. Yana Samundar for giving us these sounds. Now we're going to go ahead and invoke the planet that rules the day. Dr. Pillai said in the beginning, before we start to work with the chart, we work with the planet that rules the day. We work with the star that the moon is in, the moon phase, the planet that rules the hour of the moment, and then we'll also say the names of the yoga and the karana, which are 2 additional time elements. So right now I'm taking some flower petals. I'm going to invoke the planet that rules the day. Right now where I am, it's Thursday, which is ruled by Jupiter. As I recite a chant for Jupiter, I'm going to place a flower petal onto my little chalkboard on top of Jupiter each time I do the mantra for him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Next, we invoke the star that the moon is in. I'm going to invoke the star of Chitra, a star that's like a beautiful shining jewel. I'm going to put the flower petals on top of the moon because he's the one that's in this star. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Next, we invoke the Tithi or the moon phase, the moment we're in the 9th waxing moon in my area, which is called Navami in Sanskrit. Dr. Pillai said for the moon phase, we would say the name of the moon phase, which is Navami, and add the word Devye, invoking the archetype of that phase, the light being of that phase. Om Navami Devye Namaha. Om Navami Devye Namaha. Om Navami Devye Namaha. Next, we invoke the planet that rules the hour. The moment where I am, the hour is being ruled by Venus. We honor Venus. I'll put the flower petals on top of Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Next, we say the yoga and the karana each 3 times. Dr. Pillai said we wouldn't do flower petals for them, just say their name. The yoga element right now is one called Shiva, which has the energy of benevolence. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. And the karana right now is one called Balava, which has the energy of spiritual. Balava, Balava, Balava. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. At the moment, in my location, the ascendant is in the sign of Leo. Dr. Pillai said we start with honoring the planet that rules the ascendant sign. Leo is ruled by the sun. I'm going to invoke the sun and put flower petals on top of the sun on my blackboard. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now, Dr. Pillai said, starting with the ascendant, we go in a clockwise direction to the first sign that has a planet in it. And this is going to be Virgo, which has the moon in it. We honor the moon, and I'll put the flower petals on top of the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Next, we invoke the star that the moon is in. The moon is in the star of Chitra, this beautiful, shining, jewel-like star. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Next, we invoke the archetype that rules the star of Chitra, which is Tvashtar, which is a special form of Vishvakarma, the divine architect. Tvashtar is the divine craftsman. He's able to craft things beautifully. We invoke Tvashtar. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Next, we invoke the planet that rules Chitra, which is Mars. We invoke Mars, and I put the flower petals this time on top of Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Next, we honor the planet that rules Virgo, which is Mercury. We invoke Mercury, and I put the flower petals this time on top of Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Virgo, the most logical and analytical of all the signs, today containing the moon, which is our mind and our emotions. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasier sign with the planet in it is Tula or Libra, which today contains Ketu. We honor Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu is in the star of Vishaka, a competitive star and a star of success. We honor Vishaka. I put the flower petals on top of Ketu because he's the one in that star. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra gives us blessings of leadership qualities and power, and Agni gives us the energy of fire and also energies of purification. We invoke this pair of archetypes. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Vishaka is ruled by Jupiter. We invoke Jupiter, and I put the flower petals there. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we invoke the archetype who rules the planet that rules Tula or Libra, which is Venus. We honor Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a sign of balance and harmony. Today containing Ketu, the saintly planet, the planet that gives us longing for liberation. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasier sign with the planet in it, going in a clockwise direction here, is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto. Pluto right now is retrograde and extra powerful. Dr. Pillai says Pluto is a planet that can help with rationality and science. We honor Pluto. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. I'm including the three outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, because this year Dr. Pillai had statues made for those three planets and had them energized and put into his temple in India. So we're starting to honor those archetypes now more as well and work with their energies. So again, we honor now the star that Pluto is in at the moment, which is Uttarashada, which is a star of long-lasting success. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Uttarashada is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, each one of which represents a particular divine universal principle. We invoke this beautiful group of archetypes. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Uttarashada is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Next, we honor the planet that rules Makara or Capricorn, which is Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a sign of ancient past life skills and abilities, today containing Pluto, a planet that helps with rationality and science. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Kumbha or Aquarius, which today contains Saturn. Saturn is retrograde and extra powerful. We honor Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Saturn is in the star of Dhanishta, a star of music, good reputation, wealth. We honor this star. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Dhanishta is ruled by the 8 Vasus, beautiful light beings who can bring forward different energies onto our planet. We honor the Vasus. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Dhanishta is ruled by Mars. Again, we honor Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Kumbha or Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kumbha or Aquarius, the most humanitarian of all the signs, today containing Saturn, a planet of patience and discipline, and a planet who really likes it when we are compassionate and willing to be of service toward others. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Misha or Pisces, which today contains Neptune and Jupiter. Neptune is retrograde and extra powerful. Dr. Pillai says Neptune is a planet that helps us with intuition and our ability to understand our own inner self. We invoke Neptune. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in the star of Purva Bhadrapada, a star that helps with transformation, and a star with the fire of Kundalini. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada is ruled by a one-footed archetype called Aja Ekapada. This is an archetype that can help us to experience silence as well as forgiveness. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor Jupiter because he's sitting in Meena or Pisces. So again, we put flower petals on top of him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Right now, Jupiter is sitting in a star called Uttara Bhadrapada. Dr. Pillai says this star really can help us with business development. We honor this star. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by an archetype called Ayurbundia. He's represented sometimes as a deity of the deep, like living deep in the ocean in kind of a serpent or dragon type of form. And he is very much helping us with purification, but he also helps with things like wisdom and guarding of treasure. We invoke him. Om Arbunyaye Namaha. Om Arbunyaye Namaha. Om Arbunyaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Meena or Pisces, which is Jupiter. Again, we honor Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Meena or Pisces, a sign that is the most metaphysical and transcendental of all the zodiac signs, today containing Neptune, a planet who helps with our intuition, and Jupiter, who helps with our receptivity to spiritual teachings and spiritual teachers, and also helps us with wealth, banking, and legal matters. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Mars, Uranus, and Rahu. We honor Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in the star of Ashwini, a star associated with the energies of speed and healing. Om Ashwiniye Namaha. Om Ashwiniye Namaha. Om Ashwiniye Namaha. Ashwini is ruled by the Ashwini Kumars, horse-headed twins who are sometimes called the physicians of the gods and have tremendous healing energies. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Ashwini star is ruled by Ketu. We honor Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Next, we're going to honor Uranus and Rahu. They're both in the same star, so we'll invoke both of those two planets before we invoke the star. We start with Uranus. Dr. Pillai says Uranus is a kind of a sky god. He helps with high intelligence and innovation, success in life. He's also a star that helps with astrology. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Next, we honor Rahu, a planet that in our modern era can help us make friends with new technologies. He helps us to be open to new ideas, helps with innovation. He's a planet that can help the scientists, researchers, inventors that are looking for solutions for some of our urgent problems. We ask his blessings. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Uranus and Rahu are both in the star of Bharani, a star symbolized by the yoni, the female private parts. This star has tremendous feminine Shakti, or divine feminine energy. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Yama, an archetype who, among other things, helps with justice. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Misha or Aries, which is Mars. We honor Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a very active energy sign, today containing Mars, a warrior healer planet, Uranus, a planet that helps with high intelligence, and Rahu, a planet who can help with modern technologies. Help us to make friends, Dr. Pillai said, even with the technologies of 10 years from now. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Vrishabha or Taurus, which today contains Venus. We honor Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Today, Venus is in Rohini, a star of beauty. Om Rohiniye Namaha. Om Rohiniye Namaha. Om Rohiniye Namaha. Rohini star is ruled by Brahma, an archetype of tremendous creative energy. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Rohini star is ruled by the moon. We honor the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Vrishabha or Taurus is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus again. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishabha or Taurus, a grounded and luxury-loving sign, today containing Venus, a planet of happiness, a planet that enjoys and helps us with material plane comforts. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Mithuna or Gemini, which today contains Mercury and the Sun. We honor Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Mercury is in the star of Ardra, a star symbolized as a teardrop of compassion. Om Ardraye Namaha. Om Ardraye Namaha. Om Ardraye Namaha. Ardra star is ruled by Rudra, a form of Shiva who destroys negativities. Om Rudraye Namaha. Om Rudraye Namaha. Om Rudraye Namaha. Ardra star is ruled by Rahu. We honor Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Next, we honor the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Today the sun is in the star of Purnavasu, a star that's very freedom-loving. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Purnavasu is ruled by Aditi. Aditi is an amazing goddess, and she's the mother, actually, of many of the other archetypes, including the sun himself. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Purnavasu's star is ruled by Jupiter. Again, we honor Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Mithuna or Gemini, which is Mercury. Again, we honor Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Now I'm going to take a little tea light that I have, and I'm going to show it on top of hold it kind of in a direction clockwise around my little blackboard that has all these flower petals piled up on top of it. So I'm going to show the light 3 times in a clockwise direction to all these divine beings that we have just invoked, offering the element of light. Next, I'm going to take a little fan, because I have a housemate who can't handle the scent of incense. So some of you could offer an incense stick, but I'm just waving a little fan now 3 times in a clockwise direction over my blackboard, over the chart that has all the little flower petals, offering all these divine beings the element of air. And now I'm going to take a bell and I'm going to ring that 3 times around the chart, offering the element of sound. We make a prayer to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them for their positive blessings, asking them to bless us, to bless our families, our friends, our households, our communities, our countries, to bless the entire world. We pray to them that everyone on this planet, may everyone have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs, and may everyone on this planet have love in their life, now and always. And we make our bow. You can continue to make your personal prayers for just a minute, and then I will come back in and take questions if you have any. Okay, I'm sorry, I lost the controls here to what I was sharing on the video. I don't know what happened here on my Zoom. Someone is asking me in the chat, where do I get the Sanskrit names of the planets? If you go to this page on AstroVed, it has the Sanskrit names of the different moon phases. So that's where they are. If you are not familiar with those names, so that's where those are the Sanskrit names of the moon phases. So Navami is the ninth waxing moon phase that we're in. It's called Navami. These are Sanskrit names that we have. Is there someone else that has a question? Let me see if I can get back into Zoom to try to show you something more interesting than just my name. I don't know what happened to the controls here for Zoom. Okay, I lost the control of something today. Okay. Evelyn, I thought I gave you the control for being a moderator, and I thought that you would have that showing as a blue tool. Just a second, let me see if I can do that again for you. Let me try that again now that you're back in the channel. Just one moment, because Donna won't be able to be here every day. She's having some issues, and I'd like to have at least one person that I know is watching who can be the moderator person. Okay, let me add moderator. Okay, Evelyn, could you now post again something in the chat just so I can see if you have the blue moderator wrench, the little wrench on your name, if you're still here? Evelyn, could you just post something else if you're still here? All right, maybe it didn't take. All right, were there any other questions that you had for today? I apologize that I somehow hit the wrong control in the Zoom and lost control of our pretty picture. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. Evelyn, yes, okay, great. You've got the blue wrench tool. This means that you would have the ability to delete any spam posting or anybody that maybe is posting too much personal information, like if they're trying to give their birth details or something. You would be able to delete them. You would see 3 little dots to the right of their post, and you could, from that, pull down something that would allow you to delete them if that's happening while I'm doing the puja, if you don't mind. I appreciate that very much. Okay. Not seeing any other questions today in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for participating in the puja. And I will be here again tomorrow. I'll be here Monday through Friday now, every Monday through Friday on this channel doing the puja. Mohini asked me to do this and said that Dr. Pillai gave me a blessing to be doing this. I see someone in the chat saying, every day is getting more and more clear, all the concepts, learning so much. Yes, this is actually an advanced form of a puja, and repetition is something that I think does make it easier to follow. Several of the planets will continue to be in the same sign, in the same star for quite some time. So that repetition also helps us to learn them a little bit, more deeply. So it gives all of you a chance to have your own personal connection with them, start to feel their energies, start to have realizations like, oh, wow, there's a lot of Jupiter energy today. It's Jupiter rules the day, Jupiter rules the star, the sign that he's in. We're in a very interesting configuration. Thank you, Evelyn, for letting me know you're not available tomorrow. I'll see if there's someone tomorrow that can help with the chat. But thank you for being willing to be a moderator. We're in an interesting configuration right now in that the chart has Saturn in a sign he rules, Jupiter in a sign he rules, Mars in a sign he rules, Venus in a sign he rules, and Mercury in a sign he rules. This is a very rare configuration that we're in for a little bit longer here in July. It'll shift when Mercury changes signs. He's moving more quickly than some of the others, but it was a very auspicious configuration to start this particular series of planetary pujas. So again, thank you all for being here. I'll go ahead and let you go about your day or your evening. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. May we all go about our day or our evening in peace. Namaste.